Welcome to Pensar Basketball Live. The Toronto Raptors lose. A lot of important updates on this one. Important update number one, the Toronto Raptors blow their streak of 7 straight games covering the spread. That's not good. Another important update, the Toronto Raptors lose their streak of 30 plus assists because once again in the fourth quarter it kind of went sideways, a lot of one-on-one, a lot of late reactions. There's going to be a lot of film breakdown in this one to look at. I'm looking at 1 bar of internet. I really hope I'm not as laggy as I think I might be, but y'all let me know in the chat if I am. There is a call-in link below if you'd like to talk about this game, if you'd like to talk about Jameson Battle, if you want to talk about Davion Mitchell's incredible game, the best game he's played as a Raptor. I would venture to say I've watched about 25 to 35 Davion Mitchell games in the NBA. This is by far the best he's ever played, per my estimation. He was confident, got to the line, took his threes. I thought he was great. He was a lone bright spot for the Raptors other than Chris Boucher off the bench. RJ Barrett got his buckets. I don't think RJ Barrett necessarily had the greatest game. If I'm being honest, a lot of that fourth quarter lag, could be on him. Some of the defensive breakdowns definitely on him. Some of the offensive rebounds definitely on him. Gradey Dick, that's something that we've been using to sustain us. Let's be honest, it's not the easiest thing in the world rooting for a 2-7 team. It's not easy. It's worth noting the Raptors are now 0-4 on the road. But one of the things that was sustaining us was the continued ascension of Gradey Dick and RJ Barrett, scoring 60 every other night. Well, neither one of them cracked 30 tonight. And I got to tell you, Gradey had a nightmare game. Not only just pushed down by foul trouble the entire game. He left the first half. He had, I want to say 9 minutes in the first half because he had 3 fouls at halftime. And then he picked up his 4th. And I believe he even picked up a 5th. Did he pick up a 5th? No, he only picked up a 4th. So, I mean, it's you're not going to play a guy with 3 fouls in the third quarter. Sorry, in the second quarter, but it made sense to sit him, and he went 0 for 5 tonight from 3 for 10 from the field. Let's take a look at who did what, and then we'll get to call-ins if there are any. This is a late live. This game started at 10 o'clock. This live is starting at 12:30, and the Raptors lost by 15. Y'all do the math. They're not going to be 700 people in this live. And I get that. I completely understand that. But this is a process. As long as we're talking about the bad news for the Toronto Raptors, there's 2 injuries to 2 really good rookies, 2 highly touted rookies, your 2 highest ranked rookies. And that's Jacoby Walter, who got screened, ironically, another Lithuanian big man, another screen, another shoulder injury. Thankfully, from what someone help me. What's her name? Said from the locker room. Someone help me out. What is her name? What she said was that it was a contusion, a shoulder contusion. And Savannah Hamilton. There we go. Thank you very much. Savannah Hamilton. And yeah, so that sucks. And then Jonathan Mobo leaves the game. He was having a pretty good game, and he left the game with the hip pointers. So again, you're losing that element of like, why am I watching these games? Am I watching these games for Ochai Agbaji and Davion Mitchell? Am I watching these games for wins? Am I watching these games to see some sort of progression? Am I watching these games hoping for an RJ, 50-point explosion? Am I hoping to watch this continued ascension of Gradey Dick? I guess as fans, we need to understand what we're watching for. And I think what we're watching is just for the process. And I hate to say that, but it's true. You're watching the process of a young team learning how to win. And tonight, the Raptors led pretty much the whole way through, and then they didn't. They were up by as much as 9. Let's just take a look at who did what, and then we'll take a look at the team stats first. Well, actually, let's take a look at the game cast if you want to look at just how close this was. This was a wire to wire, neck and neck type of thing, and the Raptors really pulled away at the start of the second quarter. There was a lot of Chris Boucher off the bench, and he was huge tonight. It's just like sometimes you get a rhythm, you get a particular matchup or a feeling against a certain team, or maybe you're just more confident against that team. But man, another really poor shooting night for the Sacramento Kings against the Toronto Raptors. They shot 28.6% from three, but they did get on the offensive glass and they killed the Raptors on the glass. But that big lead was cut to 4, and then it was just pretty wire to wire. And then the Raptors pulled away again, right at the third quarter mark. DeMontis Sabonis makes a drive and layup there, but there was a separation. There was a clear separation of 7 points, right? And then there was a series of turnovers. I believe there was a flurry of turnovers, one by RJ Barrett, one by Davion Mitchell, was one by Jamison Battle. Like there was a lot of turnovers there, and they're the worst types of turnovers. They were live ball turnovers. So again, and then you get to the beginning of the fourth, and it's like different gear, right? You're making mistakes, you're bleeding minutes, you're getting injured, and boom, they're hitting a three, they're hitting step backs, they're getting to the line, they're getting in transition. I mean, that Davion Mitchell three, I don't think I've ever been so more thankful to see Davion Mitchell do something for the Raptors, but that was a really important thing because it broke a really big run, but it was too little, too late. And around 2 minutes, at the 2 minute mark, Darko pretty much pulled the starters, and we got the Bruno Fernando experience for 2 minutes. And if you needed 2 minutes to understand why Bruno Fernando is not playing basketball for the Toronto Raptors, well, he gave you an 0 for 2 performance. Let's take a look at who did what. Jakob Poeltl, you know, we've grown a little bit accustomed to Jakob Poeltl 20 and 10, 20 and 12. Well, he had 10 and 8 tonight. Four assists, two steals. And I want to say I don't like looking at the box score too much, but this was not a good Jakob performance. It just wasn't. A little bit slow, a little bit sluggish, a little bit out of it. Davion Mitchell with by far his best game as a Raptor, 20 points, 6 assists, 1 steal, looking very much like a very competent backup point guard in the NBA. I mean, if he plays like this every night, no complaints, 2 for 3 from 3, 2 for 2 from the line. He got 1 turnover. Like this is about as perfect a Davion game as you're going to have. Couple of, back cuts, sure. But shit, no one's perfect. You're not expecting Davion Mitchell to be perfect. This was about as good a game as you're going to get from him. RJ Barrett, 9 for 19, 1 for 5 from 3. I don't like his shot selection at times, and the rebounding wasn't great. Some of his matchup box out zone wasn't great. I thought sometimes the ball stuck with him, but the 3 assists he did get, I remember every single one of them, and they all resulted in very clean looks. And he had 2 steals, no blocks, 3 turnovers. It felt like more, though, It felt like more. For most of the game prior to when the Raptors surrendered the lead, he was plus. He was plus, and the bench was plus, and everybody else was minus. So, RJ plus bench did a good job in the beginning of that second quarter. But it was one stint that they really won, but it does not completely take off the table what happened in the second half. For the Kings, they got the most egalitarian balanced approach ever. They had 6 players in double digits, including a 17 point, 13 assist, 11 rebound game from DeMontis Sabonis, another triple-double, 4 triple-doubles in a row against the Raptors. DeMar DeRozan with a bit of a revenge game, 27 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. Very identical line to RJ Barrett. He just scored a little bit more. Very, very similar. Keegan Murray, I thought he was brilliant. Brilliant, including 7 offensive rebounds. I thought he was a huge thorn in the Raptors side. I thought he really won his matchup with RJ Barrett. It was 22 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists. And of course, the Raptors broadcast had to bring up the Raptors wanted Keegan Murray in a Pascal Siakam trade. We can talk about that. De'Aaron Fox had another cold shooting night against the Raptors. I mean, I guess the Raptors have their number, or Davion Mitchell has his number, or Jamal Shed has his number, because, I mean, really, this is back-to-back games against the Raptors, and he has struggled. Last game, he went 0 for 11 from 3. This game, he goes 2 for 8 from 3, but he lived at the line. He got his 21 points, 5 for 17, but not the most efficient night from him. And Malik Monk off the bench, also not the most efficient night, 4 for 12. He did get stuffed by Jamal Shed, and that's a play we're going to look at. And Clutch Tatum saying off night. Yes, tonight Davion Mitchell lived up to his name. Unfortunately, I can't believe I'm about to say this. Davion Mitchell can't do it alone. We're gonna say that Davion Mitchell can't do it alone. You cannot have a 7-point game from Gradey Dick and win this game. And frankly, you know, you chalk it up to one of those games where it's not one thing, it's not two things, it's probably about 25 things, man. It's probably about 25 things. So let's take a look at some of those 25 things and hang on one sec. Okay. Bear with me. And again, if you'd like to call in, link is in the description and we can talk about this. Okay. So we're going to talk a lot about off-ball defense because I mean the Raptors got back cut to hell. Look, this is okay. This is the only negative I say negative play about Davion Mitchell, and it's a repeating issue. That's why I'm highlighting it. It's not to pick on Davion. Davion had the best game out of any Raptor tonight, probably. So he got to the rim. He was getting paint touches. I mean, I thought he was really solid. But here's just how easy it gets. Right now, look at this little they fake it and then he just loses them, right? And that's just way too easy, right? It's just way too easy. And the paint is wide open, right? Because you got shooters all over. Yak is very high trying to pressure the basketball. DeMontis Sabonis is a very good playmaker from that position. So that's a really tough layup. And those are the types of plays I gotta tell you, as a basketball player, those are the ones that really break you, right? Because yeah. So we talked about something good. Let's compliment sandwich this. RJ Barrett draws a double. De'Aaron Fox. I think RJ Barrett was able to get whatever he wanted against De'Aaron Fox or Kevin Herter. And sometimes when the second defender came, he didn't read it fast enough. Here he does scramble a little bit. He reads it, gets it to Davion Mitchell. He gets to Ochai Agbaji. Boom, paint touch, out to Grady, and then Grady penetration, forces the second defender to commit easy shot for Davion Mitchell. That's great. That was great. That was a masterclass. That was a masterclass in good ball movement. Okay. Seems like we're going back and forth between good and bad things. Here's another bad. Okay, so this is going to be an RJ Barrett, losing his man. Okay. And this is just tough. And Ochai Agbaji picks up a foul. So it's just not quite being as fast as the Kings. And honestly, if you watch that fourth quarter, you just felt it. The Kings were faster to the basketball. They were faster up the court. It just felt like the Raptors did not have it tonight. In terms of just juice, they did not have it. Here's another one. Okay, watch this. Okay. Now here, Grady kind of commits a foul there. But watch DeMar DeRozan beat RJ Barrett backdoor at the top of your screen. So at the very top of your screen. So RJ is expecting DeMar to go for a dribble handoff. So he tries to cheat it left, but DeMar reads the cheat and goes backdoor. And this is going to be the fourth foul on Gradey Dick, who does not get position. Watch that again. So again, they're going to fake a dribble handoff and then go for the back cut here. And DeMar DeRozan's going to get an and one. And again, this is exactly when the game broke open. This was 65-63. See, the Raptors are up. And it's plays like that that really break your back, man. Okay, this was one of many turnovers. And I'm going to tell you something. I didn't love the body language on this one. I like that RJ got back on defense. I do not love. Hang on, what the hell's going on here? Apologies. You lagging like crazy on the internet. We need Starlink. Okay. Bro, what is this bullshit? Hang on. I'll refresh this. Okay. Here we go. Now, this play where RJ Barrett just carelessly sort of turns the ball over and Domantas Sabonis reads it. But look at Jakob Poeltl's body language. It's kind of like, what the hell, right? And that's not and he just kind of turns around and look, man, those are your vets, right? I know it sounds a little bit crazy to say that RJ Barrett's one of your vets, but he is, right? He's a very experienced basketball player. He's in his fifth year. And Jakob Pertl is definitely one of your vets. He's your elder statesman out there. These are your leaders. Your leaders cannot be having this type of body language after miscommunication. And that just wasn't great. And I understand Jakob is frustrated, but you can't show up your teammate like that. You got to get back on defense. If you're not getting back on defense, I mean, kudos to RJ Barrett, despite that he did sprint back on defense, but that was a bad pass by him. Now, Davion Mitchell, revenge tour, he gets a rebound, and then look at the transition defense, and he just punishes them. And that's a really good defender, and they just do not read it. I mean, if there was one Raptor who came to really play tonight, it was Davion Mitchell. And frankly, you wish you could play Sacramento 82 times a year if you're going to get this version of Davion every night. Okay, this is the crappy play where Jacoby gets screened off, and I really don't know how he got hurt on that one. I'm trying to understand it. Like, what was it? Like, is it they call it a contusion, so it's not a separation, which is good. It's not a fracture. Like, is anyone seeing like what caused this? Like, there's that extra oomph, right? Like that shoulder to shoulder oomph, and Jacoby just feels it, right? He touches it right away. So that's a tough one. That's a tough loss, right? Because you were waiting for like a great one from him, like a great game, a pop game. You wanted him to have that. Like Grady had one against Philly last year, kind of amidst the terrible games. Give him one to build some confidence, and unfortunately, just injuries on injuries. Here's great compete from Jamal Shed, who had a pretty competent game tonight. And this is Malik Monk, who is a high flyer. To time this block was just absolute madness. Like the hand-eye coordination required to do this without fouling, and he did not foul, was awesome. Okay, now watch this incredible back-to-back defensive play by Jamison Battle. Also, Malik Monk again. Like Malik Monk against our rookies stands no chance. Okay, now here we go. Block, great, great block by Jamison Battle. Positionally sound, stays on balance here, continuing without fouling, right? And then here he is trying to chase him around, gets screened off by Alex Len, and he still contests, which is awesome. So it's just like back to back. And by the way, this is following up a really tough shot in which he missed, right? So he did get back on defense after he missed. And just look at the defensive effort here. So once again, deny baseline. And then even though you do get screened off, he still offers. Yeah. Okay. Raptors VE saying we'll lose, talking about who's going to develop into a superstar closer for us, as if we've ever developed a superstar closer one time in our 30 years. It's a draft. That's a draft target kind of thing usually. Well, Scotty is a superstar closer. Vince was a superstar closer. Kawhi was a superstar closer. Kawhi definitely developed into one. Vince definitely developed into one. So I would say you're wrong. And if there's a question about who your superstar closer is, I would suggest you check the game film from the last 2 years. Scotty Barnes pretty good at that. All right. Scotty's clutch, man. All right. Now you're gonna see three really, really tough plays, okay, in a row. So, if you're sensitive to bad basketball, close your eyes. Okay, this is the turnover from Davion Mitchell tonight, and it just happens at a critical time, right? You could still say 102, 109. This is tough, right? You don't want to be here on the road. You don't want to be down 7 right now, but Springer's saying fourth quarter, Scotty. Yes, sir. Fourth quarter, Scotty. Have y'all forgot? Not going to win a chip as a clutch scorer, in my opinion. Possibly not ruling it out. Well, thank God you're not ruling it out. I'm not trying to be rude. Scotty is going to be a great closer because he has all the separation, all the bump space. He's going to be perfectly fine. He's already shown it, man. He's shown it like at 22 amidst a terrible season. He was closing 17, 18 points. This guy can get whatever the hell he wants on the court. Did you not see him against San Antonio last year? Step back three. Come on, man. When has Scotty ever let you down in the clutch? Except for that Atlanta game. He let you down in the Atlanta game. He has definitely shown it a few times. To put that into perspective, I think amidst that terrible season, he was top 5 in the NBA in he was top 5 in the NBA in fourth quarter scoring. Are you Scotty's cousin or something? Who are you talking to? Me? No. You be talking about him a lot. Who are you talking to? Me? Okay, cool. All right, no derailment. Okay, this is a really, really tough turnover. And again, you could argue this is on Yak. This is on Yak. Is this on Davion or is this on Yak? Let me know. Just put D or J in the chat. Like, I mean, if you're Jakob Poeltl, like, wake the hell up, man. Like, this is not. Oh, you're not being combative at all. No, you're perfectly entitled to your opinion. You're not being combative at all. You have nothing to apologize for. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I just think that's a really tough one. And honestly, Yak, like, wake the fuck up, man. All right, next play. Is this the next play? These plays were all in like close succession, right? And here's just that's way too open, man. Like you cannot contest from a standstill. You got to get up. You got to get into a space. Like he just stood up and like this is a practice shot. This is a practice shot for DeMar DeRozan. Like like you can't do that. That's crazy. Okay. And then I think this was the other one. So we looked at one RJ Barrett turnover. Here's another RJ Barrett turnover, and Gradey Dick tries to get back, but this is going to be a layup for Keon Ellis. And again, just not reading the floor. A lot of tired mistakes. So, anyways, that's the game in a nutshell for you. I don't necessarily think it's all that deep, and I don't think it's all that surprising. The Raptors have been extremely competitive all year. They are playing above their heads, and they are playing extremely well, in my opinion. Like they have played very well, but the roster is the roster. The roster is, that's not a platitude. The roster is as flawed as it is. It's as young as it is. And Country Kong saying the tank rolls on, full speed ahead. If we're rooting for that, we're rooting for that. It's 2-7. 2-7. This is the most fun 2-7 team. And, let's look at the schedule coming up ahead because, this is important at this point. So you get through Sacramento, right? Denver, Sacramento. Now you got the Clippers on Saturday night. Then on Sunday, so back to back, Clippers, Lakers, no favors. Schedule makers they're just haters. Okay. And then you get out at Milwaukee and versus Detroit. Detroit just lost a really close one tonight against the Charlotte Hornets. And Milwaukee is currently 15th in the East. And Milwaukee will be desperate for a win. And I will guarantee you right now that if Scotty Barnes and Emmanuel are not back for that Milwaukee game, that's going to be a loss. Like, I'll tell you right now, there's pride. And then there's like, they're not losing to the Raptors. Like Giannis will go off for 50. And we just don't match up well. And I got to tell you, like Jonathan Mobo has been honestly one of your best. Sorry, I guess I'm lagging right now. Jacoby has not been one of your best players so far, and maybe the loss of him is just more of a developmental loss as opposed to an actual loss as it pertains to wins and losses. But Jonathan Mobo has been essential for you. Without him, you will be forced to lean on Chris Boucher and Bruno Fernando a lot, and that's not good. Gary Trent Jr. will probably do what you are saying, Ash. He will probably go on his own personal revenge tour. It will be the Gary Trent Jr. revenge tour, just like it was Davion Mitchell's revenge tour tonight, just mid players cooking their former teams. And, you know, yeah, I mean, this, as I said, this could this could get so quickly out of hand. I mean, you're 2-7 right now, right? Assume you don't win one in LA. Now you're 2-9. Assume you don't win Milwaukee, you're 2-10, right? You got to win one of those games. I would argue you should probably try to win two of those games. And the two winnable ones, I mean, the Lakers are struggling. This is the problem, right? You get teams that are very talented, right? That are not playing well. And then they see the Raptors on their schedule and then they hit panic because they're like, we gotta beat that team. We have to beat that team. And that's probably just where we're at right now. We're going to be the team that a lot of teams see on the schedule, and they're going to say that's the easy win. And if we don't play our butts off and surprise them late, it's probably going to be a loss. That's probably how it's going to go. Unfortunately, that's what it is. Six Up Hustle. Rob, are we the Pistons from last year? Hell no, man. No, no, that's crazy. Absolutely not. So much better than the Pistons from last year. No, man. I mean, RJ Barrett is comparable, in my opinion, to Cade Cunningham. They're comparable talents. They're very comparable, extremely comparable. If you watch them play long enough, you'll see similar holes defensively, similar strengths offensively. Maybe Cade's a little bit better in the mid range. Cade's been shooting pretty well from three this year. RJ's shooting pretty well from three. There's not like a lot of, and RJ's evolving as a playmaker, and that was the one thing that Cade had over him. So I think that they're very similar in that way. Uh, but they don't have a Scotty Barnes, and frankly, you're not gonna compare Emmanuel Quickley and Jaden Ivey with a straight face. No, I mean the only comparison would be both very young teams that are probably not going to be super competitive. But I don't see in a million years. I mean, if you watch those Pistons team, they did not play defense. They were not competitive. I mean, they started to get competitive after they lost 15 straight, 16 straight. I don't think they had the role players that we do. I mean, if you want to compare right now, their role player, our role player, band for band, I mean, would you trade Isaiah Stewart for Jonathan Mobo? I wouldn't. And Isaiah Stewart can shoot. I just like what Mobo does better. Yeah. Sasha's saying, when does the trade market open again? The trade market is currently open, my friend. You can make trades right now. Takeaways from this game. It's hard to be overly upbeat about what happened tonight, right? You win in this game, you're up by 6, 7, 8, 8, 9 points, actually 9 points. And at no point did I ever feel in a million years, I really believe that. I did not feel at any point in this game that the Raptors were going to win this game. I'm just being honest. They were up by 9 points in the third quarter. I did not believe they were going to win this game. I don't know why that is. I think it's because I'm looking at the talent. I think I'm looking at how easy it is for Fox to get into the paint. I think I'm looking at how easy it is for us to get picked apart on the inside. I think I'm looking at, you know, the fact that we have to rely on Chris Boucher to anchor a second unit offensively and defensively to some degree. I think I'm also looking at it as, teams are taking it a little bit easy defensively, but in the fourth quarter, they are turning up the heat and we are not handling it well. A lot of this, pressureless movement offense that we've been running, it really does become hard once teams start to guard your cutters. See, because you're running this motion and Ochai cuts back door and then the defender recovers. You don't have it. Now where do you go? So again, I cautioned this earlier today in a live, and I'm really glad that I did because now if I hadn't made the previous live that we made at 5 o'clock, maybe right now I would sound like I'm trying to contradict myself. I said that the assists were fool's gold, right? And there's a reason for that. There's a style of play here that is generating offense. It's generating offensive rating. It's generating assists. It's generating points. But there is a massive difference between advantage generation and advantage acceleration and advantage. Yeah. If you want to take a look at like great passers, this is a debate that we had on the panel today. We were talking about Tyus Jones and how Tyus Jones is not a great passer, but he is a great connective passer. How he is just able to push the offense forward. He's able to make the next logical play. If you want to take a look at every single pass that Grady or RJ is making, these are not advanced reads. They are simple reads. They are very simple reads. Grady sucks two defenders to the basketball in the corner. He flings it out to RJ at the top. RJ finds the corner, right? Defender goes in, he finds the other corner, opposite corner shooter. This is just like this is like tracing, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not an artist because you can trace, right? Uh, give me a W if you know what I mean, man. I'm a little bit tired, but I wanna make this point. What Jokic, what Halliburton to some extent, Trey Young, Scotty Barnes, what really gifted playmakers do for you is not just advantage extension. They create advantages that were not there. They manipulate the defense. They are able to not only suck in a second defender, but they are able to manipulate the off ball defenders into thinking that you're going one way and you're really going the other way, right? They're able to create like passes through their gravity as a scorer, but also their talent as a passer that just did not exist without them. It's not as simple as what Fred VanVleet does. And I used to get really mad at Fred VanVleet's fake assists. If y'all remember those, like assist padding, right? It's the same thing with Russell Westbrook. It's very simple to get assists in the NBA if you're a half decent scorer. You can farm for assists, you know, and I learned this myself playing NBA 2K. It was very simple. You put it in the post, you give it to your big man, you force, a commitment from a second defender, you fling it out to a shooter, and then boom, you just take the shot. And if he makes, that's an assist. And if he doesn't, that's not an assist. And if you do that 35 times, you're probably going to get 10 assists. And you're going to get 10 rebounds. There'll be a lot of misses from this predictable ass offense. And there's your triple double. It's not that complicated to get a triple double if you're farming for a triple double. That's my point. These numbers are bullshit. They don't mean a lot. The talent is the talent. When De'Aaron Fox gets to the basket, it doesn't matter if he's 5 for 17. He's broken down your entire defense. There's nothing you could have done to stop him. Like, there's physically nothing you can do to stop him. De'Aaron Fox coming off a dribble handoff, going downhill, you just can't stop that. That's why he's a star. That's why he wants a max contract, because he does something that other people cannot do. They cannot replicate. They can fake it. They can do it against a not set defense. But when it comes down to the defense tightening up, and I think the Raptors are finding that out, is like, you're beating teams when they're sleepwalking. But when they wake up, and we have watched this happen 5 times this year, you're beating the shit out of Denver. Denver comes out of halftime tunnel. They've woken up. Jokic is ready to be serious. He has to play 14 minutes of good basketball to beat you, right? It's the same thing with the Kings. The Kings sleepwalking through the first half. I don't think they played well at all. But sometime in the third quarter, they turned up the gear around the middle of the third quarter. They didn't want to play with their food too much. And boom, there goes the lead. And the next thing you know, you're in a 15-point blowout. It's not, it's just a matter of being real about who players are, right? I think if you're being completely real, at the beginning of the season, I did a preview. Season preview, in which I broke down all the young players. And I watched that yesterday. I was curious what I said about Grady because I put him in the highest echelon of talent on this team among the players not named Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickly, and Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett, and Scotty Barnes. I put away BBQ, but among the young players, I put him and Ulrich at the very top. And what I said was, in an ideal world, he's like a 12th guy on the roster. Now, he has massively, massively accelerated that. It was not that was not to diminish his potential. That was to highlight how young he is. That on the Boston Celtics, he's not beating out Sam Hauser right now for minutes. Now, of course, the way he's been playing the last few games, maybe he would beat Sam Hauser out for minutes. But right now, he's probably not a better player than Sam Hausen. We need to be real about that. We need to be real about that because Doug McDermott can score 30 points on any given night. It does not mean he's a 30-point per game scorer, right? I think that it's important to be real about the fact that when defenses tighten up, you find out a lot about yourselves. And that's why I was so adamant that the Raptors should try to get to the playoffs because getting your ass kicked like that is going to be a really sobering experience. It's going to be really sobering for Scotty Barnes to have 7 turnovers in a game, a crucial game. It's going to be really sobering for RJ Barrett to face the tough contests, right? It's going to be great for Gradey Dick to go 0 for 12 from 3 one game, and he's going to be like studying that film all off season. These moments are good because they give you an idea of what 5 minutes of this game, 50% of that, right? If the Kings played playoff defense tonight, okay, I'm just being real. If the Kings played playoff defense, if this was a playoff game for them, they probably blow you out by 40. Okay, that's just me being real. They probably blow you out by 40. That is the talent gap with your depleted ass roster right now. But I think it's worth saying that because of the acceleration of some of the young players, because of the growth of some of the young players, because of the ascension of Gradey Dick and Ochai Agbaji and the continued progression of RJ Barrett, I think it's possible to say if you're healthy, maybe you can give them a shot. The Kings. But I don't think you can give the Celtics and the Knicks a shot. That was the subject of our last live, is part of the talk, and it's all time stamped for you if you want to go back and check it out. I was actually proud of that live. We even talked about the political election at the end. I thought that it was a really interesting, thought experiment to say, like, who could you beat in a 7-game series? Could you beat in Indiana? And I think the equation will change ultimately if Scotty ascends to a superstar. So I can't wait for him to get back. He will be back in about 2.5 weeks. So it's going to be a little bit of pain before that, right? As I mentioned, it's going to be a little bit of pain. But if you want to ease your pain, definitely start watching college basketball. I'll give you some players that you should definitely be checking out. VJ Edgecombe, 100%. Kaman Malawak, 100%. Cooper Flag, 100%. You should definitely be watching these guys. There's a dude at BYU that you should be probably watching too, and I'm not remembering his name right now, but my buddy turned me on to him, and that seems like a guy that the Raptors could be interested in. Colin Murray Boyles at South Carolina could be a very deep target for the Toronto Raptors. There's a lot of guys in this draft that are going to make a hell of a lot of sense for this roster, and this is a roster that requires a talent boost. Okay, so tonight you're on the road. It's just exhausting to play this way, man. Jack saying this draft class is crazy, even the second round. Agreed. Raps VE saying Murray Boyles, if he can shoot, sheesh. That's it. Igor Demen is the player at BYU. 6'8", 6'9" guard. That is a very interesting player. I mean, I have to look more into him. My friend just turned me on to him because he was like, yo, like this guy's really interesting. So check him out. But that Portland second will be so nice for us. Okay, I'll leave you on a very, very positive note. And I think that is I think it's a really positive note. Okay, and I'm happy to be proven wrong about this or get some pushback on this. Would it be fair to say that the Toronto Raptors got more for OG Anunoby than the Spurs got for Kawhi Leonard? Think about it. RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly. Okay, so I guess the question is which of these two packages would you rather have? And I wish I had someone running polls for me, but I don't. So just say OG or Kawhi. Or actually just say Raps or Spurs. Would you right now, knowing what you know about these players now, and knowing what you knew about the players in 2019, would you trade current day RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, and Jonathan Mobo for 2019 DeMar DeRozan, Jakob Poeltl, and Luka Samanic? Stephon Castle wasn't part of the deal. What do you want, bro? So Raptors. That's interesting because I agree. I think the Raptors got more for OG Anunoby. I mean, because RJ's younger, cheaper than DeMar was, especially relative to eras, way cheaper. Would you trade RJ for Ron Holland? Mm, I'm not a huge Ron Holland, probably not. Spurs have the best since they drafted the best player. How did they draft the best player? How is Luka Samanic better than Jonathan Mobo? Huh. Am I wrong? I'm pretty sure that Spurs pick, the Raptors pick, was conveyed as a 2019 pick. I think the Raptors got a better package. If you're being honest, I think the Raptors got the better package. And by the way, OG was also an expiring contract. Oh, and by the way, the Spurs got a full year. Hold on. The Raptors got a full year of Kawhi Leonard. The Knicks only got half a season of OG Anunoby. Is that fair? Would you trade RJ for Bilal in a heartbeat? In a heartbeat, I would drive RJ to the airport myself. I'm not trying to be rude about it. Maybe that's triggering for some people, especially if Rue sees this later. Yeah, that's not close. The Raptors gave up Precious Achua, but that's a positive. Oh, right. I completely forgot about Precious and damn. But that's not the point. The Kawhi part is not the point. The point is, oh, that's fair. That's fair. They gave up Danny Green too. Shit, that is worse. That's way worse. I left a comment on an older live that we got for Kawhi and compared it to the OG trade. That's cool, man. You were ahead of me then. They should trade Chris Boucher. For what? What would you like to trade Chris Boucher for? Also, I do not know how leggy. I hope I'm not being too leggy, guys, because I keep seeing this 1 bar, 2 bar. We have not had internet issues in a really long time, but today it seems that we are. I mean, they tanked really well to get Wemby. That was 3 years later, man. 4 years later. Sasha saying Boucher is a culture guy. At this point, Masai is too loyal to do that. Oh, I will bet you that the first decent offer for Chris Boucher, I promise you he's out. No, there's no loyalty here at all. Andrew, trade Boucher for a 2058 second. Man. SP saying Rob Williams for Boucher's expiring. Now, help me understand what is the incentive. What incentive in the world does Portland have to do that? I don't understand that at all. Someone's saying Risa Shea went off. Cool. I feel like a genius right now because Risa Shea's been struggling super hard. And I went on the panel the other day and I said, guys, I understand basketball pretty well. I promise you, Risa Shea is going to be fine. I'm hoping when you say went off, you mean like he went off for 30 and not like he went off for 12, but it's 12. Yeah, I thought so. Oh, damn. Risa Shea, 33 points against the Knicks. Holy crap. Damn. And our beloved Raptor, OG Anunoby. You know how much they traded for OG and Mikal Bridges, and Risa Shea literally outscored both of them. That's crazy. Knicks fans are going to panic. They're 3-4. 3-4 with that lineup. That's insane. Man, Trae Young be living rent free. Wow. Hmm. Is it too risky to push Shea in? I think at this point, no. I think if the alternative is putting Bruno Fernando in, I'm good. Let's just go with Ulrich and get him his minutes, man. Like, I understand that feels like a really big white flag to everybody, and I get that, but that's perfectly fine by me. Okay, Jaylen Brown didn't play much. So the Celtics have lost now 2 games against teams they probably shouldn't be losing to, but the Golden State Warriors continue to be one of the hottest teams in the NBA. That is pretty impressive. The Houston Rockets go into San Antonio and they win. Sorry, the San Antonio Spurs come in and Wemby versus Shingun and Fred VanVleet has a 10 for 11 night after all the shit I talked about him. Wow. Wow. The beacon of efficiency. Fred VanVleet is turning it around. Started talking shit about Fred literally 4 days ago. Did a victory lap. He has 2 great games in a row. That's timing, man. And that is timing in a nutshell. And to take a look, LeBron James with 39 points tonight, and they are without Anthony Davis. And that in hell to stop. Rita Jackson Hayes can do some stuff defensively, but it's gonna be tough, man. Rob, are you good at cursing and reverse jinxing? Yeah, pretty much, man. I just shouldn't speak. I shouldn't speak about basketball. Okay, the Cleveland Cavaliers continue to be undefeated. Wow. I mean, they were expected to win tonight, but still. Eve Misi, their starting center, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 3 blocks. Eve Misi continues to be a demon. A demon. Maybe the Raptors can trade for him someday. Denver beats OKC. This was not on my bingo card today. OKC was undefeated going into this game, and Denver beat them. Wow. Russell Westbrook. Okay, so just so we're clear, a couple of days ago on the panel, I talked shit about 2 players, Fred VanVleet, Russell Westbrook. Tonight, they both have the games of their lives. Wow. Russell Westbrook with 29, 6, and 6. That is incredible. And against a really, really really good defense, possibly the best defense in the NBA. Actually, it is the best defense in the NBA. Okay, so I just officially should not. I should just shut up. Russell Westbrook, Fred VanVleet, cooking me tonight. Okay, that's it. That's enough for me. I cannot see any more of what went around in the NBA today. That was crazy. Okay, propose a trade for Boucher, Battle, and Bruno. Who- Whoa, not trading Battle. I like Battle. Ash saying Cavs looking like they'll win the championship. I don't think they're going to win the championship at all. Boucher for cash. Who's giving you cash, man? Someone's got to eat an $11.5 million salary. Who's giving you cash? Anyway, this is going to be probably the shortest live. We do not have any callers, so this is going to be one of the shortest lives, and it's just one of those things, right? I think maybe it's just like a late game. It wasn't the most exciting game. It was a predictable game. There was no huge explosion that we could just hype ourselves on. There was no Grady 30. There was no huge rookie performance tonight. Overall, I think there were competent performances around, right? And again, you were in this game and then you weren't, and it feels a little bit like we were in the twilight zone, like it's repeating, it's over and over. So progress is not linear. Things are slow, right? The Toronto Raptors got off to horrendous starts to start this season. First quarters were a disaster. They've started getting off to better starts. This is awesome. They've learned. Now need to learn how to close games out. So that old quote from Garrett Temple from a couple of days ago, that when the seal is open, it's going to be hell for the league. I hear that. I feel that. In theory, that should be it. But closing games in the fourth quarter is not for everybody. And typically, this is going to be the hardest hurdle because when the defense tightens up, your talent really is it's really highlighted. So unless you're going to blow teams out in the first half and force them to quit, chances are if you're going to end up in a 3-4 possession game with 5 minutes to go, you're going to lose that game every time. Okay? So it's really tough. Yeah. Yo, Mars, what's going on? Predict this Russell Westbrook 29 points. I mean, I want to shoot myself right now. like like 29 points for Russell Westbrook and Fred VanVleet goes 10 for 11. I don't know. Let me know if you want to call in. There's a link in the description if you want to come on and talk real quick to our community. We can plug your show as well if you want. Andrew saying, how are you 15 in 2024? Mars be lying to all of you guys. He's not. Six man, we hear you about to owe Ron $20. Bro, it's even worse than that. It's not gonna be $20. I'm fucked. No, there's no chance in hell Russell Westbrook is completing this, is gonna replicate this performance. Okay, just stop. Okay, it's just one game. It's one game. All right. Appreciate you, man. Um, yeah. This was a tough night overall for me personally. Just as a Russ hater, as a Fred's hater, as a shit. Sorry, I wish I hadn't seen that because I felt bad that the Raptors lost tonight, but now I feel worse that Russell Westbrook. You keep saying that you're a hater. I'm not lying. I'm not saying you're lying. I mean, yo, like you would Mars, if you have a moment, go check out Instagram Pensar Basketball and scroll through the Fred VanVleet reels. You're gonna die of comedy, bro. It is absolutely relentless. It was like a 1 year long pursuit to get this guy off my team. But now he's on Mars's team. So I don't know. We averaging 27 and 7 this year. Book it. Who's we? Fred? 27 and 7. Damn. I don't think so. If he's averaging 27 and 7, I don't know what that does for your man, Jalen Green. FVP saying, laugh my ass off. Those are the good old days. I hated Fred so much. I got 214 people in here. Let Mars know what he got. Oh, come on, man. Russ is not going to average 27 and 7. I don't even think he clipped 27 and 7 today. No, he got 29, 6 and 6. Nah, man. Russ is going to be Russ. But, the worst part is he probably would get six man of the year. Media would vote for him, right? Damn. Saying, I'll trade you guys Shed for Fred for Jamal Shed. Okay, okay, chat. Let him know if give him a yes or a no for that trade. You can read it on Wheat Mars. Mars saying, man, we want a chip for you guys. Let us get our Houston guy back. Yo, why you guys hating on Fred? What the fuck? Because we watched him play for a lot of years. We understand. BP saying Fred VanVleet did his media tour again. He was on Draymond podcast, even name dropped Scotty and how he learned from having the high pick coming in. Yeah, I'm good, man. We good. We good. I don't think I would give you Chris Boucher for Fred VanVleet right now. I'm just being honest. Just for the vibes. That's an NBA champion right there. He got a Finals MVP vote. You know that same that same, animosity that Drake that DeMar had for Drake. Sorry, that Drake had for DeMar, like, if they retire his jersey, Imma jump up there and tear it off myself. I wish I could tear that vote down. Hubie Brown. Hubie Brown is forever tainted the legacy of Kawhi Leonard. Like, why? Because 'Cause you're friends with Steve Kerr, and you're friends with Greg Popovich, and you did that despite Kawhi. Anyone really doubting if Kawhi had a better finals than Fred VanVleet needs to get their head checked. Zigsaw Puzzle saying Davion Mitchell for Fred VanVleet. No, I'm good. Davion cooked tonight. Davion's good. No, I'm good. Saying we'll pay to make sure Fred stays away from Canada as far as possible. Thanks. Lejo. Is it Ejo or is it Elio? Mm. What position would you prioritize on the draft? No position. There's no position to prioritize. I think I've been pretty clear that there's three very important glaring roster holes for this team. Number one, backup point guard. Unless Jamal Shed becomes your de facto backup point guard, you need that. Number two is a higher offensive version of Ochai Abaji. Again, totally possible Jacoby Walter or Ochai himself become that player, but right now you don't have it. The third is definitely a player you don't have on this roster, which is a switchable rim protector behind Jakob Poeltl. So again, maybe that is Ulrich Shumshay. Maybe that is Jonathan Mobo. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you do have that on your roster. And again, there's a chance that everything you need is actually on this roster. It's perfectly possible. I have no idea how good Gradey can be, right? Okay. Kersi, you getting banned. Fuck out of here. Are you insane? Fuck out of here. No political advocacy. We had one discussion about politics and Kersi going nuts. Don't spam the chat. You actually make the, I mean, to anyone who's ever thinking about doing that. Okay, 5'8" is wild. He's not 5'8". He's 5'9". I mean, you make people hate that candidate when you spam the chat. Like, I don't know what your agenda is, KRC, if you're watching this still, because you're definitely banned. Like, you make people hate that candidate. So if your goal is to get people to vote for that candidate, you just make people hate that candidate. I kind of liken it to running mid rolls and running ads, repetitive ads. You know, it's like now I hate your brand. I'm never shopping at your damn grocery store. Shot 90% today. Come on. He's gonna shoot 9% tomorrow, yo. Any updates on IQ and when will he be back? Mm, Emmanuel quickly will be back. He should be back very soon, actually. He should be back probably the next two games. So you could see him make his debut, I believe, against the Clippers. I don't know. Will the Raptors be 2-10, 2-9 when he comes back? 2-9 is not, it's not crazy to come back from 2-9. You just have to happen. Like, you just, that equals out to 48%. Yes, unless, of course, he takes more shots on his way to 9%, in which case, no, it doesn't. You think we'll get much better? Yes. Warren. That was the most embarrassing and disgusting form of rigging in have ever seen in my life. Are you talking about the game or are you talking about the presidential election? Oh my God. Okay. Valeria Lalonde, you have also been banned. Bro, what is going on? Mars, did you bring political trolls with you? That's nuts. I'm talking about the game. This game, they scored 14 points in 12 minutes. Why do you think that that's a sign that you got robbed? Do you think that maybe it's a sign that you crumbled? I think we crumbled. I think like mentally we crumbled. Mars can't even vote. It's because he's 15, right? Yeah. If y'all actually think Mars is 15, you're insane. That means he's been on the never mind. Vote Cooper flag for first pick. You know who got my vote? I didn't vote for Kamala Harris. I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I wrote my write-in. I'm voting for Scotty Barnes. Oh my goodness. Barrett of RJ, make Canada great again. Vote Pierre. Can you guys please stop? I'm begging you. I promise you the next time someone says make Canada great again, vote Pierre. I'm literally banning you. Okay. It's not because I don't agree with your political ideology, it's because I don't believe in you spamming your stupid political ideology in a basketball chat. You understand what I'm saying? Like stop. Okay, well get rid of Trudeau then at least. Sure. Sure. Not a fan. But please, context, man. Some people use basketball to get away from sports, okay? So you can't introduce politics into sports. Like I'm not LeBron James. You know what I mean? I'm not just gonna start like spamming like political messaging all over sports. Like people are using sports to get away from politics, getting away from stuff. So I just don't appreciate using our chat to advocate for a particular political candidate. And believe me, it's not anti-conservative. It's not anti-liberal. I would literally ban you if you talked about Justin Trudeau, Justin Trudeau. I would ban you for that too. So it's not, yeah. Ash saying no one cares about politics in the basketball chat. I mean, that's not true. There's a lot of people who care about politics, but maybe they don't care about politics right now. Rome saying Darko will turn Jakobs into Coutinho Mobley. Bro, did you use ChatGPT to auto-generate that response? Jesus Christ. Toronto saying, Rob, serious question here. How do you this current tempo will be impacted once Scotty and IQ come back? Scotty is a proponent of pace, man. Scotty's a fast player. He likes to play fast. So it'll get better. Your decision making will get better. And most importantly, your offense will become far less predictable. So this is, yeah, it's very important. Anyways, I'm gonna catch y'all later. We are over the hour mark. We've been talking about absolute nonsense for the last 20 minutes. Salute. That's what getting blown out by the Kings feels like. I really wanted this win. I wanted this win because we only play the Kings twice, and that way all year I'd be able to tell Ox, we swept y'all, we swept y'all. But now I gotta say we split it. Shit. Anyways, Jeremy Conda is saying, just came back from the game. Love seeing Mobo in person. Super smart player. Thank you so much for chiming in and letting us know that. That's super cool that y'all got to see a game in Sacramento. I will also say this, which is very interesting. Do you know? Do you know that there are tickets for as little as $7 if you go down to Milwaukee for the Raptors Milwaukee game? So I don't know. That might be a pretty good alternative. I mean, if you're just going for the night, Jigsaw Puzzle saying, "What the fuck?" Yes, $7. There are tickets as little as seven, not 7 USD, not 7 greenback, 7 funny money, 7 Canadian dollars. That's crazy. To me, that's pretty nuts. So you should definitely consider a road trip to Milwaukee. First of all, pretty cool for the road team when there's like actual support. You know what I mean? Second of all, Milwaukee not that far away. That's not that far away. I mean, the gas money though. Yeah, but you get to go to Milwaukee, sightseeing in Milwaukee, a night or an evening away in Milwaukee. Consider the Raptors game compensating for your gas money. You get a free trip out of it. No, no. You think the Scotiabank Arena is so nice? Who cares? True, true. Like a little vacation. Exactly. I don't know what people do in Milwaukee, but I'm sure you could do something in Milwaukee. Maybe see some factories. Maybe see some farmland. Maybe see some cows. I don't know what they do in Milwaukee, but you can do it. And you can watch the Raptors play for $7. All right. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy yourselves. See some cheese. Yo, fuck. Bless. Thank God that we live in Toronto, man. So that's a really cool thing. Live cows is diabolical. I mean, I'm sure they got cows. We got cows. $7. That's right. I'm pretty sure the beer is about 35 cents. I can neither confirm nor deny this. I do not know if he was from there, but I'm not trying to be rude to Milwaukee. It feels like that's where he's from. It just feels like that's where he might be from. You know what I mean? Milwaukee isn't a real place. No way. No, I assure you, Milwaukee, Wisconsin is a place. I mean, all jokes aside, Milwaukee is awesome. I have been there when I was a kid. I was been there, and it's really cool. It's a cool place that you should definitely consider visiting. I mean, it's not a huge city, but it's not also a small city. Like there's stuff to do. There's wine, there's dancing, there's clubs, there's cool stuff. Yeah. And again, $7. Can you go wrong? I mean, you might get courtside for about $36. I don't know. No, I think courtside's like 500-600 bucks. But nevertheless, and totally different experience. And also, I'll give you another bonus to attending the game on the road. You're not helping MLSC. That's a good thing. Number two, chances are sometimes when you're a Raptor fan on the road, they will show you on TV. So if you're a clout chaser, that's definitely a good thing for you as well. Anyways, there's my 5-minute promo on your next vacation to Milwaukee. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good one.